Hey, what's up guys? This is AJ here from Fraser Comics here with another Fraser Indie Talk episode. Now, fair warning, I might sound a little nasally. I'm just trying to get over sickness, so I figured we get this done and over with. So, here we go. So, today's indie comic that we're going to be talking about is another indie publisher that we've mentioned in an earlier episode. I think it was Black Alpha. Coming from WTF Comics, and the comic book is Blue Ghost. Blue Ghost is coming from WTF Comics, and again, this is our second book review that we're doing from the same group of guys. We've got the staff here: Paulo Gutenberg, Pablo Diaz. Again, I apologize in advance if I mispronounce your names. Kaji Pato and Eddie Alves and Diego Silva. So, and also, this marks the first time for us that this is the first time we're going to be discussing a manga book. Not your kind of typical style manga book, because we would have to start from back to front. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, as you can see here, it's 4 chapters plus a bonus chapter, which I didn't really go into that. So, I only just focused on the first 4 chapters here. So, and as you can see, once again, we've got another black and white book. So let's get into chapter 1 here, shall we? It starts off going back to 1993, where pretty much where certain events have started happening. I really like this chapter. It shows a lot of action and fighting going on. A little less wording here and there. So chapter 1 kind of flies by pretty smoothly. Like we've got the bad guy there. Alright, here's some shots of what Blue Ghost originally looked like before we get later on into the story. There's picture. We're kind of skipping ahead here to the end of chapter 1. He does this huge power-up, what is it called? Galactic Storm. Boom. Everything kind of went chaos, and then it ends up going 27 years later, and that's where it kind of ends the chapter there. Alright, next chapter. Alright, and so, excuse me, current year, 2019, City of Cherry Trees, Santos Days College. So, that's where we're at. So, kind of skipping ahead here, we're going to focus on these 2 girls right here, sisters. So, one's named Daphne, one's named Tiffany. I believe this one's Daphne, and that one's Tiffany. So, they're going to be kind of the main characters from here on out throughout the rest of this book. Alright, so here we are, moving on. So, Daphne here, the one she's getting yelled at, that's Tiffany yelling at Daphne. She's been the troublemaker at school lately, doing whatever that, heck she wants to do, and then she's trying to stand up for her, telling her, she's, oh, you're doing this and doing that, and yada, yada, yada. Alright, skipping ahead, chapter 3. So, Tiffany here is also an investigator. Kind of more of the details here of what she does for her work, or personal work actually. The problem so far in the story is she's trying to find out who's been doing all the kidnapping that's been going on, and she's thinking that it might be this gentleman right here, which we'll find out in the next chapter. Alright, chapter 4. Yeah, here we are, skipping ahead a little bit. Looks like Tiffany goes off and finds that same gentleman that we saw in the last chapter. Alright, and lo and behold, go to a local abandoned warehouse, and there's a gentleman with all the kidnapped kids. Alright, skipping ahead here, and so it looks like we got the villain here that's about ready to fight. Alright, so here we are, down to this point. So basically, this has been Blue Ghost this whole time. He didn't die in the first chapter. He just kept undercover this whole entire time, passing on the oath for his powers to Daphne. And so now she becomes Blue Ghost here, transforming and whatnot. And here's her in her first full appearance here, first full form, about ready to fight that monstrous thing. So we're just going to skip ahead here, kind of short, sweet, to the point. This is the ending here. She saves the day, saves the kids from getting eaten by that monstrous thing. And then Daphne later on reveals herself to her sister about what she really is. And that's where it leads off to. So there you have it, guys. That is Blue Ghost coming from WTF Comics. And again, check out on one of our earlier episodes we did on WTF Comics some time ago. I believe it's episode 6, 8, 7, one of the two, for Black Alpha. We're gonna give this. This is our first ever like manga book. It's not your typical manga book because usually you go from back to front, but this is front to back. Very easy to read. It's black and white. I'm going to give it about a 9 out of 10 here from Fraser Comics. And so, again, I recommend this book to, well, any age in particular out there that's into, manga. And again, not your typical manga. And I'm not so big on it either, but I figured we'd give it a shot. I know it's definitely something different. We tend to try to do something like that on every episode. We do something different each time. It's not all about just superheroes and whatnot. And again, I do apologize. I've been trying to get over this sickness, so I'm not like too energetic or motivated for anything. So I figured I'd take the effort today to do this for you guys so you can see what kind of work that WTF Comics has out now, so which is incredible. Again, another black and white comic, which is fine because again, I've said in the past several episodes that I respect any and all indie creators' work and what they want. So, and I appreciate that. So, but again, so Blue Ghost, WTF Comics, and then check out one of our earlier episodes that we did on one of their books, Black Alpha, yeah, we'll go from there. Hopefully next week, we've actually got another comic from WTF Comics called Gambit's or Ganger's Combat. That's another black and white comic, short comic. We'll be reviewing that for next episode. So stay tuned, and I thank you everyone for watching today's episode. We'll see you next time.